Thanks for taking the time, man. I am literally working on a breakdown right now of your skills and part of your career. And the biggest thing I see when I watch your fights, the biggest thing that is really exciting to watch is how you flow from whether you're striking or you're grappling or you're throwing knees or you're throwing elbows, but this natural flow that you have in combat. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
A lot of it is natural, like you said, because I didn't take the sports for it. You know, everybody has their thing, and it's the first time I've been in a fight. It just came to me. You know, it was a natural thing. You know, but it's a lot of mad hours. I can't jot down the hours that I put in perfecting my practice. I didn't start this like at 19, 20 years old and saw Ultimate Fighter, and I was like, oh man, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. No, I was doing this since I was a kid. You know. So it's a lot to do with the age that I started at and the natural ability that God gave me.
When I was even watching some of the fights you had outside of sanctioned in backyards, and there are moments where you're throwing a right hand and weaving underneath the counter left hook, or moments where you're drawing a man into you and jabbing him as you intercept him moving forward, stepping off on an angle and then pushing forward. That when I watch that as somebody who studies fighting, that doesn't seem natural, but was it truly something that just felt right to you when you expressed combat?
By natural, I mean like I could see things in like slow motion and I could react to it, not being nervous, being calm. Like, you know, I see that left hand coming right after I hit him with the right hand. My body, I don't have to tell my body, oh, duck. My body just does it. You know, and when I see the tape, I'm like, whoa. You know, that's what being a natural fighter is. That's what, you know, being born to do this is. Obviously, I've spent hours, and I can't even tell you how many hours I've spent under a rope just bobbing and weaving. But that mixed with my natural ability is what's given me this. But I've spent more time under that rope bobbing and weaving than most people spend fucking watching TV probably. And I'm not even exaggerating. I'm talking about day after day after day, just bobbing and weaving after the rope, or somebody throwing punches at me. So it's a combination of natural ability and just how many times I've read it out, you know.
That drive to work that hard, is it because you love to do it? Is it because you feel compelled to do it? Is it because you want to win and be the best? Why do you work that hard?
It's a combination of things. When I was young, I knew that this was my ticket out. I knew that this was the only way I'd take an honest, earnest living. You know, the circumstances I had, I was like, this is it right here, you know. So I heard this is what people do to get better at this. I'm going to do it more than them. I'm going to outwork everybody, and that's always been my motto. I'm just going to do it more than them. I'm going to do it better than them, and just do it, you know. I had some good coaches in the beginning that told me, he's like, hey, the secret is just doing it, and then do it again. And then when you're tired, do it again. And then the next day when you're sore and you're hurting and you don't want to do shit, just do it again. And you're going to see eventually the light will shine through the tunnel, and that's basically it for me, man. Just outwork everybody.
And that ability now to see punches coming at you, to experience combat in almost a slower motion than the rest of us see the world. Did that develop over time, or is that mode something that you had from day one?
It's something that I had from day one, and I'm not exaggerating. The first time I put the boxing gloves on and I got to spar at a gym, I didn't know the coaches or nothing. I was just hitting the bag. They're like, hey, you want to spar? So needs help. And I remember it was a dude that had like 12 amateur fights. He was getting ready to do like another amateur fight. He was ready in the open thing. I didn't know any of this at the time who it was. I just thought, okay, let's box, you know. I was like, perfect, let's box. I beat the dude's ass for like 3 rounds, you know, just off natural ability and just being me. That's one thing that I got to thank God and my parents for. I'm just naturally a mean individual, born that way, you know. I don't have to like psych myself up to fight dudes or hate them. No, I'm just mean naturally. I was able to get by off my toughness and meanness. Obviously, I didn't have the gas. The third round was like a huge slugfest. I remember just like me hugging and then swinging for the fences. But the coaches told me, he's like, hey, how many fights you got? I'm like, man, I've never fought. This is like, I've never fought. He's like, wow, for real? You never fought? And then them taking me aside and saying, we want to work with you. You have natural ability. These are not Mickey Mouse coaches. These are real coaches that were working with boxers. They had sent dudes off to the Olympic trials already. They had been in the game for a while. And immediately they were telling me, you have it. You know, now whether you get far or not, it's up to you. you're the one that has to come in here and put the time. You're born with more than most people, but you still have to work for everything you're going to get, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing to find a moment in your life where you know that you have something in you that's special and have the drive to do it, have a purpose to be able to do it. That's how people accomplish great things. When you said that...
Sure. I mean, I found out I had that when I was like 7, 8 years old is when I found out. But I'm actually, there's something about me that's a little different than everybody else. I remember walking to school, and some kids tried to take my bike. They were a little older than me. I think I was about 9 years old, 8 years old. And these dudes were like in their teenage years, 13 and 14. And they tried to take my bike. Guess what happened? I went home with my bike, you know? So,
yeah. That didn't go well for those guys. Now, when you now...
No, it didn't, you know? And I wasn't really training or nothing at the time. It was just my environment that I had grown up in was a very combative environment. Mixed with my meanness, I can tell you this much, ain't nobody took shit from me, man.
Can you tell me how it is that on one hand you say that you have the vision and the comfort in a fight because you're calm, but on another hand you have a meanness and you have a toughness that comes out? How do those two things work together?
You can see them fights a lot. I'll be out pointing a dude, cruise control the whole way, just jabbing him to death, moving, faking, doing everything I want to do, scoring a takedown here and there. But as soon as I get clipped, the fight will change. The tempo will change. All of a sudden, I'm not going laddering anymore. I'm coming to take your head off. It's just something in me naturally. You know, when I get hit, it's just, I want to fucking hurt somebody, man. And it's not something I got to do. A lot of fighters got to pump themselves up, hate their opponent, things like that. No, for me, it's just natural. That's why hashtag easy money, because this is easy to me, you know. Fighting is what I like to do.
Yeah. Now, you know, some guys trying to take your bike when you're naturally game bred like that is one thing, but now you go in as a professional for a living to feed yourself and your family, and you go and fight other men like you. And did that change when you got to the point and you first met other driven, hungry, ornery, mean people? What was that experience like to take it to this level of being the world class of the world class?
Well, to put it in like black and white, you could ask like Dan Lambert or Mike Brown or any of the coaches, Cammy Barzini at American Top Team. We've obviously seen a tremendous amount of athletes come and go from all disciplines, from gold medalists in the Olympics to great strikers to obviously the great fighters that we produce. And they'll tell you, if I'm not the meanest, I'm one of the meanest sons of bitches that's ever walked through that door. So at all stages, I've always been able to rely on that, like, man, my legs hurt, I'm tired, this guy's way better than me technical, but you know what? I think he's a bitch inside, and I'm going to bring it out in him. And I've always been able to do that to dudes. Hasn't changed in the fight world. You know, I feel the punk dudes out. If somebody's better than me technically, which I've spent my whole life trying to be the most technical dude possible, so I can insure my money, you know. But I know at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, when it's hot in the kitchen, when dudes want to fucking bail, you ain't never seen me bail. If you're a fight fan and you've seen my fights, you see me get dropped with whatever it is, and you see me get back up to my feet and get in that man's face. I've never gotten hit and then look for a way out, take a bad shot, give up my neck, stupid shit like that. You ain't never seen me do that. You seen me get hit and go to fight, or you seen me get taken down and use every bit of energy I got to get back up and get back in that man's face. That's what a fighter is, you know. There's a lot of, as you bring that up, there's a lot of pretenders out there and fakes, and if you can narrow it down to a time like right after the Ultimate Fighter, there was great exposure for the sport and stuff. A lot of dudes that weren't fighters saw this, and they said, man, I could be famous, I could be on TV, like the Junie Brownies of the world, like those type of dudes, you know what I'm saying? Like the ones that are just on social media, just dudes that want to be on social media that are just attention hoes, that are not about fighting, they're more about the fame, you know?
Yeah.
I'm going to throw back to the fighters before that, you know, the dudes that were in the early UFC. I didn't compete in the early UFCs like those animals. There were no rules and just go till somebody quits. I didn't do that, but I would have done that if I was around, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Because I'm not in this for the fame.
Yeah, man.
I'm not in this for that. I got into this, when I got into the sport, it was just a fight, you know?
Yeah, I have literally just watched, consumed, and analyzed every moment of your UFC fight career and everything else I could get my eyes on. And this is what I do for a living. I analyze combat athletes, and you are...
I've seen you show a bunch of times. Me and Mike Brown watch your show a lot, so we're fans of you, man.
Thank you, my friend. I am a huge fan of your work, and it has been an incredible pleasure to break this down, and I'm going to...
I've been blessed.
Thank you, my friend.
Brown says hello. Yeah.
Hey, Jorge, man, enjoy the rest of that week. What are you going to do to Cowboy Cerrone?
I'm going to punch him in the face. I'm going to take him down. And just keep repeating and rinsing until I break him.
All right, man.
There will be takedowns in this fight. A lot of people think it's going to be standable. I'm going to take this dude down.
It is an honor to break down and analyze your fights, my friend. Thank you so much for the incredible, incredible fights. And have fun in there next weekend, brother.
Thank you, man. Big fan of your show. Keep it up, man.